This is where we left in the previous video by creating or configuring the cookie. In this video, let's see how we are going to protect this endpoint called dashboard, unless the user passes the cookie that the server has generated, and then the server is going to verify in case the cookie is valid or not. So let's get into it. So over here, let's see the roadmap. First of all, we are going to access, or let me say, grab the user from the cookie. And in case it is true, we are going to render the template. Otherwise, we are going to redirect to login. So now let's fill up with the first logic. How are we going to access the value of the token inside a route? Express make it pretty easily by using a method called cookies on the request. So here I will say const. I'm going to assign to a variable called user data, and you can use any variable name of your choice, and it's equal to rec.cookies. Before we continue, let's go ahead and log the rec.cookies. So let me refresh the page because I'm on the dashboard. It means that this endpoint will be called. And let's see, we have undefined. So why is it so? It's simply because when you make the request, the server could not detect the cookie inside the browser unless we find a way for the browser to detect the cookie inside the browser, which means that the user is not going to manually pass the cookie along. The server is going to detect automatically. So to achieve this, we need to install a third-party package called cookie-parser. And the purpose for this cookie-parser is to parse the cookie in the browser when the user makes the request. So let's go ahead and install that. So here I will say npmi cookie-parser. And let me clear it and run the application. And let's go ahead and configure the cookie parser. So here as const, cookie parser is equal to require cookie parser. Now we need to pass it as a middleware. So over here, I will say app.use and pass in the cookie parser as a function call, and that is it. With this middleware, the incoming request cookies are passed and populated into the rec.cookies, and it allows the application to easily extract the cookie data sent by the client browser, which can be used for various purposes such as session management and user authentication. Now with this one being in place, let's go ahead and hit this endpoint. In this case, the dashboard endpoint, which is this. So if I refresh the page, now let's check the terminal. With that configuration, now we don't see undefined, but we see the user inside the cookie. So we are going to check. In case we have a user in the cookie, then it means that the user is authenticated. Therefore, the user is authorized to access this route or this template. So here we are going to pass this one back to object using what is called json.parse, because this one does not seem to be a real object. So over here, I will say user data is equal to rec.cookies.userData, because we have it as a property down here as user data. So now, in case we have one, then we are going to use json.parse. and then we pass in the value, in this case rec.cookies.data as that. Otherwise, we are going to use null, meaning that the user is not logged in. So for this, I want the username only. So it's going to be const username is equal to user data dot username. And in case we don't have one, then we are going to use null. So here it's going to be question mark. I think I need to use, we're supposed to be in case we have user data. I'm checking for any error. Then go ahead and use the username, otherwise use null. So here it's supposed to be colon here. I'm using ternary operator. Now, we are going to check in case we have username. Then we are going to render the template as that. And we are going to pass in the username as that username. This is how we pass in value to the template so that it can be accessible inside here by using this UGS syntax, because we have the username exactly inside here. Now with this one, if I save it and save this file too, now if I refresh the page, as you can see, welcome John, because I have logged in. But if I delete the cookies manually, clear it, and if I refresh the page, now let's see. As you can see, the server keeps hanging, meaning that we are not handling this case in case there is no user in the cookie. So else we are going to redirect the user to log in. So here as else, res.redirect, and then go to the login page. So here as redirect. Now with this one, as you can see, automatically I have been redirected because there is no cookie inside our browser because I have removed it. All right, so let me try again. Refresh it, and now if I go ahead and log in as John, now I can see my dashboard. If I go to home page and come back to the dashboard, I'm still on the dashboard because I have been authorized. I have logged in at the same time authorized. The last step is how to implement logging out. Let's continue in the next video.